session.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jose Nieves. I want to welcome everyone to the public session of the JCOAT meeting for November 16th, 2021. I believe in this public session, we will be taking up some business with regard to the revocation of Governor Cuomo's authorization letter that was issued by Commission staff. And I believe Commissioner McNamara would have a resolution for that.
Thank you, Chair. I do have a resolution, and I will read that for the Commission's consideration.
Thank you, Commissioner McNamara.
Let me just state for the record that we do have a quorum for the meeting.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. By virtue of the authority vested in the Joint Commission on Public Ethics, referred to hereinafter as the Commission, under Section 94 of the Executive Law, and in particular, paragraph 16 thereunder, the Commission states as follows. Whereas by letter dated July 10, 2020, referred to hereinafter as the approval request letter, a request was made on behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo to the Commission for approval on stated conditions to engage in an outside activity relating to the authorship of a book in exchange for monetary royalties or other compensation therefrom. No title for the book was provided in the approval request letter, which described the book as a memoir of Governor Cuomo's professional and personal life since his last book. That book will be referred to hereinafter as the book. Whereas the approval request letter represented that, quote, the governor will abide by all 9 of the established requirements, close quote, for receiving compensation for writing a book, and in particular, represented to the Commission that Governor Cuomo, quote, will write the book entirely on his own time without the use of state resources or personnel, close quote. Whereas, by letter dated July 17, 2020, the Commission staff issued an informal advisory opinion conveying conditional approval for the outside activity described in the approval request letter. The July 17, 2020 letter will be referred to hereinafter as the conditional approval letter. Whereas among the other conditions to approval stated therein, the conditional approval letter imposed without qualification or exception the condition that, quote, no state property, personnel, or other resources may be utilized for activities associated with the book. And whereas, contrary to the representations made on behalf of Governor Cuomo and not disclosed to the Commission, state property, resources, and personnel, including staff volunteers, were used in connection with the preparation, writing, editing, and publication of the book. And whereas the approval request letter further represented that the book would be a continuation of Governor Cuomo's first book, a memoir published in 2012, and that consistent with item 3 of the 9 established requirements, the subject matter was, the 9 established requirements, quote, the subject matter was sufficiently unrelated to his job responsibilities so that authorship or the advice or material provided in the book could not be viewed as part of his job, close quote. Whereas the conditional approval letter expressly conveyed conditional approval of outside activity comprised solely of authoring, quote, a continuation of the governor's last book, All Things Possible, Setbacks and Successes in Politics and Life. Whereas, contrary to the representations made in the approval request letter, the book is not in compliance with item 3 of the Commission's 9 established conditions to approval as stated in the conditional approval letter, in that it is a work that was developed as part of Governor Cuomo's job responsibilities and is substantially related to his job responsibilities. Whereas the approval request letter submitted on behalf of Governor Cuomo stated, quote, specifically, Governor Cuomo is seeking to author a book in the very near future, close quote, when, in fact, the book was completed or substantially completed prior to the issuance of the conditional approval letter. And whereas the financial and payment terms and all other terms and conditions involving the book's publication were set forth in a contract between Governor Cuomo and his publisher, and that contract was withheld from the Commission prior to and after issuance of the conditional approval letter. Whereas the approval request letter for the book submitted on behalf of Governor Cuomo contained material omissions and misrepresentations, and that each of said material omissions and misrepresentations individually constitute the ground for revocation. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the conditional approval letter be and it hereby is revoked. And it is further resolved that the Commission's determination herein is without prejudice to its prerogative or responsibility to find additional grounds in fact or law for revocation of the conditional approval letter should future circumstances so warrant. That concludes the reading of the resolution.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second for Commissioner McNamara's resolution?
Second.
Who is the second?
Several of us, including me. Judge Braun and others.
So Judge Braun is on the second, will be on the record for the second. And is there any comment? Commissioner Fisher?
Yes, thank you, Chair. The issue that I have with this resolution is with respect to item 3 of the established requirements. The text of item 3 in our Deputy General Counsel's letter of July 17th, 2021, reads, the subject matter must be sufficiently unrelated to the governor's official duties so that authorship or the advice or material provided in the book cannot be viewed as part of the governor's job. I don't see how it's possible to view the advice or material provided in the book titled American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic as part of the governor's job. It's not a series of speeches he gave to the state legislature. It's not the transcripts from his daily press conferences, nor a simple recounting of what the governor and his office did during the period of time covered by the book, namely March 1 to June 19, 2021. I hope that I'm right to assume that each of my fellow commissioners has taken the time to read the book, as I have done. I won't comment on the literary merits of the book or the value of the lessons its author attempts to convey to the reader, but I will say that I don't believe that it's a fair reading of the book to view the advice or material provided in it as part of the governor's job. Were we to delete the whereas clauses that reference item 3, I would be more than willing to support this resolution, but the presence of those whereas clauses lead me to the conclusion that I cannot support the resolution as drafted.
Hearing no further comment, Commissioner McNamara, will you amend the resolution as requested by Commissioner Fisher?
I will not accept that proposed friendly amendment.
Thank you. All right. That being the case, and there being no further comment, I'm going to ask for a vote. A roll call vote, please.
No. On the motion, Judge Braun.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Commissioner DePiero.
Yes.
Commissioner Fisher.
No.
Judge Inricks.
Yes.
Commissioner Jacob.
Yes.
Commissioner Levine.
Yes.
Judge McCarthy. I'll come back. We lost his signal. Commissioner McNamara.
Yes.
Commissioner Stern-Gersman.
Yes, and please correct my name to be, my last name is Gerstmann.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Weissman?
Yes.
Judge Yates?
Yes.
Judge McCarthy?
Yes.
Thank you. And Chair Nieves?
Yes.
12-1, motion carries.
This time, seeking a motion to approve the October 5th, 2021 and October 19th, 2021 public session minutes. Can I have a motion to approve?
Moved, Weissman.
Chair?
Okay.
Okay, on pages 2 to 3, it says, it states certain figures. It says that for personal services, should that read personnel services? Or is personal correct?
Personal is correct, Judge. That's a term of art in the budget.
Okay, fine. And the other question is, it says year-to-date total, the first year-to-date total is $2,495,500, or 54% of the budget. The second is $151,000 year-to-date total, $297,000. And it says total year-to-date spending on the next page is $2,792,000, or 49.7% of the commission's total budget. Those figures correct? I don't see how they
Yes.
add up.
Yes,
Can you explain?
I believe they're correct. I don't know if our director of administration is participating in this meeting, but it's when he says 54% of the budget, he means 54% of the personal services budget, and 151,000 is 28% of the non-personal services budget, and so that 2.8 number is the combined number, which is 49.7% of the total budget.
Okay, I see now. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Not hearing any questions or comments. Can we have an approval of the, did we get it up? Did we get a motion already?
Was there a second? Was there a second?
We have a second.
Great, thank you.
Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No opposed, no opposition. I believe that passed.
I saw unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. We have a report from staff.
Yes, the report, the operations update is behind attachment C in the commission's books. As you will see, it was yet another busy month for the commission. I would note in particular the activity in the lobbying group that took place, the trainings that were conducted, audit and review, as well as the number of ethics inquiries, which continue to grow at an increased rate. I don't know if any of the commissioners have any questions or clarifications. Be happy to respond at this time.
Any comments, questions?
All right. Next item is the meeting schedule for January through June of 2022.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I've just been notified that the motion on the minutes was only for the October 5th minutes. I believe if there is not any objection among the commission, we could note that covers both sets, but I wanted to make sure that you're okay with that and the commission's okay.
Any objection to the October 19th, 2021 minutes being approved? Seeing no objection, I would imagine that the unanimous vote was for both.
Thank you.
Right,
Sorry,
thank
Judge.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, well, the meeting schedule for the first half of 2022 is behind tab D. I have received no inquiries from any commissioners, and assuming there are none, this will be the schedule we'll observe for the January, February, March, April, May, and June formal commission meetings. I will only add, as I provided to the commission after we submitted it, our budget proposal for the next fiscal year has been submitted. We are asking for an increase of just over $600,000, primarily to cover required increases, including retroactive payments and performance advances that are mandatory, but also to add personnel in the investigative enforcement part of our operation, and also in the lobbying division. And again, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to respond. But that has been submitted. And that
I don't see any questions.
right, unless there are any questions, that concludes the report from staff.
All right. Thank you, Judge Berlin. Any new or other business? Hearing nothing from the commissioners, we will now I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Executive Law 9419B. Second was by...
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. We have audible.
Looks unanimous.
Any objection? There being no objection, it's unanimous vote to go into executive session.
Please stand by.
Earlier this month.
Is that
Public
part of the
access.
announcement?
Back in public session.
Thank you. All right, do you want to make that public announcement?
Monica?
You're muted.
Sorry, I can report out from the executive session. The commission discussed matters related to litigation, personnel, and ethics guidance. The commission approved an application for an exemption from the post-employment restrictions pursuant to Public Officers Law 73-8-B. The commission authorized steps in several investigative matters, closed 3 matters, and discussed several other investigative matters.
Judge Berlin, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I just wanted to add that earlier this month, our regulations concerning access to publicly available records went into effect upon their publication. That's with the exception of the request log, which will become available after January 1st. And that covers it.
May I have a motion to close the public meeting?
Moved.
So, Commissioner Weitzman moved. Second.
Commissioner Braun.
Commissioner Braun seconds. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
Thanks.